Hi, I'm Caleb Tennis with SwiftStack. I'm an engagement manager here to talk about storage policies in OpenStack Swift and what you can do with them. So storage policies are a relatively new feature development of Swift, and the genesis being that Swift being one of the very first OpenStack projects, storage policies came as a result of people needing to add functionality that wasn't there a long time ago. So the original days of Swift mimicking Amazon S3, there was a lot of operator control and flexibility, but there wasn't a lot of fundamental things you could do outside of just storing data in Swift in one particular way. So storage policies, now we have that change. So historically, 3 times replicated data was the conventional way of doing things with Swift, but now with storage policies, you have flexibility on what we call this replica count. That can be 2x or 4x or even more. And what that means is that depending on the durability needs of your data, you can define on a per container basis how that data is going to be distributed throughout the system. Some people are choosing 4x because they want that higher durability, and some people are choosing 2x because they don't need it. Amazon calls that reduced redundancy, and we just call it 2x replication. Swift, again, will always spread the replicas as far and as wide as you allow it. So when you define where these policies can be in the system, Swift will put those as far apart as they can be, and with the 4x replicas, that could be across the continents or locally within the same data center. Storage policies also allow you to have flexibility on media. Now you can have tiering in terms of your data storage. So you can have a storage policy that's conventional storage and a storage policy that may be flash, and allow you to define and put data in a place where it has faster access, read-write access. Another option with that would be a caching layer for, say, image thumbnails versus the actual storage of the images, and allow you to have fast access to those thumbnails because they may be what gets downloaded from the storage system much more frequently than the actual images themselves. You can add timeout and automatic transitions here in the future, and gives you this hybrid approach to the way you're doing things with your storage policy. You can also have flexibility in your partition space. And when you create a Swift cluster initially, you have to create a partition count which is distributed throughout the system. And the size of that depends really upon how large the system is going to grow. You don't want to size it too big or too small, depending upon what the total system is going to look like, because there's some trade-off constraints to what that number partakes as. With storage policies now, each policy has its own partition count, and so that allows you to define perhaps a smaller partition count, which is more advantageous from a CPU and computation perspective, and then over time, as you add more policies, you can change the partition space count for those policies and basically have larger partitions throughout the system for those containers. Allow you to grow smaller rings into larger rings, essentially. And storage policies within SwiftStack work through a web UI, which is our controller, and it's very flexible. You use the UI just to create, name, and manage your policies all through one page, and then you select the drives in your system you want to apply those policies to. Multiple policies can be applied to the same drives in the system, and that allows you to have a lot of flexibility in choosing what drives have what policies and where those all go in the system. You can have a gold policy that distributes the data, like we said, the 4 times replicated, maybe throughout multiple data centers, and a silver policy that maybe is only 3 times replicated, all within the same data center, and then maybe even a 2x replication as a bronze policy, and allow your users to choose. One other nice thing about the SwiftStack system is with these storage policies, you get utilization information on a per policy basis. So you can go back and cross-charge internal departments based on how they're storing their data in the system and see for each policy how that data is being applied and maybe have different rates for different things. And all you have to do is specify the policy when creating the container. So once all the policies are defined in the system, when you go create a container, you say apply it to this policy, and from then on out, that policy is applied to the container. That's a brief overview of storage policies, and I want to thank you for listening. If you have any questions, please let me know. Thanks.